So we are recording. Thank all of you for being here. I'm honored and excited, and this just keeps moving along faster and faster in my little world. So hopefully this will help you the way it's helped me. And I don't know. I do think the world is changing at like breakneck speed right now. So the more you can engage and stay in this space and realize that you can talk to yourself, you can talk to your inner self and get real answers that work in real time. I always think it's just a way better fit than, trying to find answers outside of you. So what we're going to talk about, if nobody has anything else about the questions we worked on last week, and if you didn't see those, you can go to last week's video and just go to the description underneath. And I think it was Philip that had put them in the chat box here, and I just copied them and pasted them into the description box under that video, so they're under there. Highly recommend contemplating those, just because it gives you an interesting look at yourself. And then we're going to add this to it. One of the things that you have to realize is that inner part of you, your God self, your I am self, your higher self, your beingness, your isness, whatever you call that part of you, that energy, that light is so strong and so powerful without being awake, right? Whether you think that part of you is awake and totally on it and doing things, or whether you feel like it's still a little bit asleep, that part of the light and the energy of it is so strong, it can change all of this. And literally, all it takes is you recognizing you have to put your focus on it. You have to put your awareness on it, and you have to hold it there. It holds all of the keys of creation. It's all of the tones, all of the color, seen and unseen, heard and unheard, all the sacred geometry, known and unknown, right? Because there's things in this plane that we know about, there's things we can see, there's things we can hear, and then there's things that we can't. So it houses all of that information in different ways and in different packets and in different, right, however you want to look at it, frequency, vibration, everything is right there. If you knew that part of you, just the light by itself, right? So it's the idea in some of the ancient texts that if you ever put your eyes on the face of God, that the light would be so bright, it would either instantly kill you or blind you, or, right? It would just basically take you out, because the energy is so strong, you cannot look into the face of what they call God. That's inside you. That's why people say when they get to that light and they see it, it's shocking because of the nature of it and the power of it. But you have to get to a place where you can recognize that is what that is. And it is all the power that you need to change anything in a split second. If you could just hold your awareness to it and not tell your past stories. So I'm going to give you some of the keys to all of this, and the ways that I have found that it works the best, the ways that I've read in many ancient texts and different books that I read. And one of them is literally quit talking about your past. Quit telling your old stories. And people tend to really fight with this. I forgot to watch the waiting room. People tend to really fight with this. About not telling your story, because it's one of the things that if you're in like an online business or you do any of this kind of work, a lot of these people, to promote yourself, tell you, you've got to tell your story. You've got to tell your story. You got to tell it with meaning and feeling. And all you're doing is recreating the story when you do that, right? It's the idea of going and sitting in a psychiatrist's office or a psychologist's office and sitting there, and they want you to repeat your story and repeat your story. Tell it again. Let's see if we can figure something out. And all you're doing is you're creating more loops of neuroplastic to it. And in doing that, you're building out the program so that you can relive it over and over and over in different ways. Your light can take care of all of that fast. It can change all of it. You just have to keep your focus on it and then quit telling the old story. So one of the things that we tend to think about how all this works, and the way we look at it, I think because we're human, is that it's linear, right? It's just this string of information through time. And we call it past, present, and future. And to that past, present, or future, no matter what part of the timeline you're focusing into, the script is already written. There's a script that goes along with whatever it is you're focusing into. And we tend to go along with that script. We reinforce it by thinking about it, by telling stories to it, and by giving it emotions. Right? So we feel a strong emotion to it. We think about it some more, and then we try and change it. We try and alter it. And all that does is re-cement it back into the reality. Does that make sense? Is everybody tracking with me so far?
Yes.
Yeah. So the script is already written to your past, to the stuff that you're trying to program for yourself into the future, and the present moment that you keep looking at. Right? We're sitting here, and it's why I feel my lungs over and over if I'm focusing into the present moment. I just figured this out. I'm just like, oh man, because that script is already written. You literally don't have to get rid of or alter anything. You just merely rewrite a script. It's infinite. Your spirit is infinite. It has infinite possibilities. If you're working off the script that you were handed in this lifetime, and I feel like I've changed my script quite a few times, I've noticed places in my life where I changed something so radically that I had to have been in this place where I wasn't trying to alter anything. I quit trying to get rid of stuff. I quit trying to, any of it. I wasn't changing anything. I literally rewrote the script, and it changed me in such radical ways that people would literally fall out of my life because I wasn't the same person. So you have to realize that's basically how this works. You're functioning off a pre-written script. Rewrite your script. In the present, in the past, in the future of the script that you're playing right now or that you're playing in, it's like the box is solid, right? There's boundaries to it. There's borders that you bump up against. When you start altering, rewriting your script, when you pick a different possibility, you pick a different program, you choose, instead of creating alterations and trying to get rid of them, instead of trying to change stuff, you choose, that box kind of becomes a dotted line. It's no longer solid. Because at any given moment, you can pivot and make a choice and alter that moment. So a little bit different of wording just to keep it separated. The past, present, and future, what we're operating in that's solid, right? It's the pre-written script. The now moment is more the spiritual description, if you're in the now moment. And that's where there's infinite scripts. It's an open dialogue. The key to it is you can't keep going back to the old script. That bounce back and forth alters the frequencies. It alters your ability to hold your focus because of the nature of how frequencies and vibrations work. And it feels like you bounce back and forth. I come in, I go out, I come in. We talk about it all the time. And I feel like even talking about it causes it to happen. But if you're totally focusing in your present moment, you're putting all of your, or not present moment, in your now moment, I'm right here, right now, this. I can choose any direction I want to go. And then I stay there. I don't leave that place. And every next now moment that happens, I'm tracking with the energy of my higher self instead of tracking of the energy of my past or whatever future I thought I was creating. Are you still with me?
Yes.
Yeah.
Christy, you mean you're doing this with your lungs?
I'm doing this for my whole life,
Okay.
for everything. You can't just change one thing about, right? So that would be changing something in the script. If I'm only working on my lungs, I got caught up in this for years. If I'm only working on my lungs, or only working on my weight, or only working on my relationship with this person or that person or whoever, I'm trying to change or alter the script that I'm already in somehow. You will get to the place, if you're not there yet, you will get to a place where you are tired of the script. And everything can change.
All right, I got it. Yeah. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, so I rewrite the script. I quit playing by the rules that if I feel my lungs, I put my awareness on it to see what's going on with my lungs. And the more I take my awareness away from that, the less of an issue it seems to be. With that is feeling, thought form, the idea of affirmation, saying something to yourself will perpetuate the direction that you go. So I'm constantly, I went back to the old, what's his name? Jose Silva. Do you guys remember Jose Silva? Back in the day, I think he was one of the first energy healers I ever started following. And his statement was, every day in every way, I'm getting better and better. Every day in every way, I'm getting better and better. And his thought to it was that if you are thinking or saying anything to yourself, it better be that. Don't say anything else to yourself. Just that it's getting better and better. And then when something gets better, wow, right? You get excited and you go into the feeling, and then you focus on the feeling, and then you manifest from that place. Does that make sense?
Yes.
So it's being able to learn how to control that, I think, more than anything. So knowing it's not linear, it is I am, it's the inner presence inside of you, and it's that light and the power in that light that you have to harness. Doing it by not thinking about your past, not talking, not telling your old story. So you have to create, you literally have to create a new story. What do you want? What do you really want to see? Can you see it? Can you make it tangible with feeling? Can you sit there and think on it long enough and feel it inside your heart that it's tangible? Because that's how it'll start manifesting. If you really think about it, you go through it and you try and understand all this, you will start to see a line of reasoning that shows you literally everything you've ever pulled into your life or ever created was created exactly like that. You thought about it, something happened, it gave you a feeling, you thought about it, you added more thought to it, more feeling to it, until it just kind of grew into whatever is before you now. It's kind of reverse technology, but do exactly the same thing from a positive. Every day in every way, I'm getting better and better. I don't tie anything to it. Everything's getting better and better. Everything's changing. It's going through its cycles. I can feel it while it's happening. It's super interesting, actually. This is probably maybe a month or two into playing with this idea, and keeping my focus so on it. So I have it written on papers and cards. I've got these little sticky notes all over the place. My bathroom mirror has stuff written across it. You know, I have things inside my car stuck to the windshield and to the side of the car that I can look at and read, and it helps keep me focused back in that place. One of the things I've noticed, one of the things I understand is asking how or why will throw you back into the linear experience. Asking those kind of questions, how, why, I've always said to people, quit asking why. Why will run you in circles. If you try to figure out why about anything, you will start chasing your tail. The how or why both will throw you back into the linear experience. And think about it for a second. If you're asking how or why, you're trying to change something. You're trying to get information to figure something out so that you can alter it or change it. And I would go back to saying, don't do that. Just make a different choice. Choose something that you want instead of something you don't want. So literally, my whole program for years, and I apologize to everybody I've ever talked to, has been about how to change, right? That was what Mind Rewire's purpose was in its onset, was it was a change program. And it turns out it's not about changing at all. It's merely about choosing. Choose a new adventure. Write a story to it. That will become a memory, right? Writing the story, putting pictures to it, putting feelings to it. If you can contain it like it's a memory inside your head and re-access it over and over, just like you do all the stuff from your childhood, guess what will start to happen? And it can happen super rapidly. The more you focus on it, the faster it happens, just like anything else. Let's see, what do we got over here? Sue says, if you have to open the script to check or make a change, you've now left. You've left now. Yes. Yep. Go back to now. Select a different book from the library. Yes. Yeah. Yeah, because if you're trying to make a change, you're back in the pattern. You're back in the pattern. I'm trying to think of different ways to say this so that it makes sense to everybody, because it's kind of hard to catch. Just think about it being your light and the power in that light, the power of staying in that place. Your light is the now moment. It's not a blip in time, and it's not a period or a place in space. It's out of that. It's out of that realm, which is why you can do stuff instantly in it. Your I am self, your spirit self, is not contained in space or time. It's outside of that. And if you can find it and sit in it long enough, you will become rather quickly anything that you want, any change process that you want to have happen. Assuming and affirming, when you assume, let me say this differently, when you assume an affirmation, so you're assuming, not meaning like you're assuming something, but assuming meaning you're taking it on, you're taking on an affirmation to remember your new reality is going to take you miles down the road. You have to find those affirmations. So let's pause for a few seconds. And even if you don't have your new reality planned yet, you're not like thinking through, well, what do I want? Because some people literally will look at me and go, I don't know what I want. I have no idea what I want. And I'm actually one of those people. I really don't know what I want. I just want this to be nicer. Just want everything to go a little bit smoother. I want to have a little bit more money so we can go do something. I don't even want that much. I don't really care anymore. But I just want this to be a smoother road. I want the road out of here to be smooth. How's that sound? But I want you to stop for a few minutes and write them down if you've got something to write on. Or type them in the chat box so we can share them. Give me 4 or 5. We'll call them affirmations, but things that you can say to yourself to start creating your new world. To start creating from your inner space, we're going to create the outer space. What do you say to yourself? Take a few seconds and think about it. And we're going to type them in the chat box. We'll share them with each other. I do literally use every day in every way. I'm getting better and better. If I have things going through my brain and I catch it, that's my default right now. I default straight to that. Everything is working out for me. Love it. Yep. I am enough. Ooh, that's a big one. I am enough. Come on. Participate here. What else we got? Using I am instead of I would like. Yes, that's wonderful. Even I am by itself is so powerful. Just to sit and I am yourself. I am. And say I stronger and say am stronger and sing it and dance with it. Like it's so powerful. Sue says, I am full of energy all the time. All the time. Feel that. Go back through these. Let's start over again. Go back through these and feel these as I read them. It's interesting because I'm literally getting different feelings in my body. So Christopher's was everything is working out for me. Feel that inside your body. And it might feel totally foreign, but just notice what it feels like. Angela said, I am enough. I am enough. And breathe. Breathe while you're saying these. Feel it. Lance said, using I am instead of I would be. So you could do this one, say I am. Just feel it. That one always makes my head start to pulse. And then say, I would like. And notice the difference. I would like kind of goes flat, doesn't it? So you said, I am full of energy all the time. Say it and feel it. Notice what it feels like. I am full of energy all the time. Lent says, I am light and love. Breathe that one in. Feel it. There's nothing but truth in that statement. Nothing but truth. Angela says, or Angel, I'm sorry, says, I am so loved. Like feel inside, go deep inside your heart and just feel that. Anytime you say, I love you inside your heart just starts to like, I can't even explain the feeling. Yep. Yep. Ah. I see the light. These are interesting ones because when you say things like that, I see the light, you're actually commanding your pineal gland. You're giving a command for sight or right vision of some sort. I see the light. Notice in any of these statements, notice where you're feeling them in your body. So interesting. Melissa says, I am divinely protected. That's an interesting one. Between those three, even going all the way back up to Lance's, I am light and love. Where do you feel that? Feel it inside your body.
Send it or type, enter it or whatever.
And then I
Straight in my
see
heart
the,
space.
oh, go ahead.
It's just incredibly powerful in my heart center.
Yeah, it opens up your heart chakra totally, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. And then we said, I see the light. I see the light. Notice where you feel that, because that goes straight up to my head. I see the light. Do you see what you're doing? How powerful these statements are? Melissa said, I am divinely protected. Feel that one. Where do you feel that? It's an interesting one, isn't it? That goes straight to my gut. I feel that in my gut. It's activating, right? We're activating all of these different centers. Where does protection come from? In the physical sense, right? Your gut's always looking to make sure you're in a safe place. Philip says, I breathe, I live, I am happy. I breathe, I live, I am happy. Now, people will look at statements like this and they will tell me that, and they'll say, but I'm lying to myself because I'm not. Which self are you talking about? Are you talking about the old past structure of the script, right? Yourself was scripted, and it's that rigid structure that you believe that you weren't. Or
I
is
just
it
try to make a good affirmation.
Yeah. And it's perfect because if you're speaking from your spirit self, that's going to go quick. Because your spirit already is. It is breath. It is the breath of life. It is life. I am the way, the truth, and the life. Yeah, I am happy. I remember years ago, and I haven't told this story of my past in a while, I had to go somewhere to teach myself how to feel happy. What self was I teaching and what self was I trying to change? It was my outer self, right? It was my physical suit. It was the written script. And I was going places trying to teach it what happiness was. And it didn't work too well. It was kind of amusing, but it didn't work too well. Melissa goes to, I am capable. Feel that one. Where do you feel that in your body? I am capable. Sue
Wow,
says, my life. Oh, go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say that for whatever reason went straight to my sacral.
Nice. Very specific.
Yeah,
Nice.
pulsating.
Sue says, my life unfolds perfectly in love beyond any word descriptions. Go for the gold, Suze. That's amazing. What would happen if you said that to yourself all day long for a few weeks? Holy cow. JR says, I'm exactly what I am supposed to be. I am supposed to be capitalized. Wow, where do you feel that one? I am supposed to be. Ah. And then I am growing and be gentle. Your spirit is always gentle. Spirit is always gentle. Always has grace. Always will give you more than you ever expect. Because it's everything, right? It is that light. It is that spectrum of color, of frequency, of vibration, tone. It's all of it. It's everything. Nothing left out. And then we have I am energy, and energy is everything. And there it is. That's it in a nutshell. I am that. That is what it is. And then it's the idea that you stay now, here with this. Don't go wandering off, right? The second you go wandering off, you have to start catching yourself. The words that you're saying here, I'm hoping you're writing down on something. Because those are the words you want to keep it in your pocket. You want to write it on your hand. I used to write stuff like this on my arm and leg all the time. Write it somewhere so you have instant access to it. I would write it on my arms, and there was things I wrote on my legs that I didn't want anybody else to see, is why I wrote it on my legs. And I would literally just have to put my hand on it to reactivate the power of it. You have to know how powerful you are, and you have to stay in it to keep it moving, right? Because the brain will take back over and you'll go back right back into the linear program. So when you're doing this work, you have to literally make the decision to be this. And let that light, let that energy, let that power consume everything else, yes? So I want you to visualize the light. Close your eyes if you need to. This is a hard one because, I mean, you literally have to just let happen whatever happens. Go into your heart space And I go into my heart and just say, I want to see you. I want to see what this looks like. Show me what this looks like. Show me my higher self. Show me the energy. Show me the light. Whatever words work for you. Say it however you want to say it. And then breathe into your heart. Let it expand. Let it open up. Let it get bigger and bigger and bigger. We're going to stay here for a few minutes. Let it keep growing. Let it keep opening. And if you have the eyes to see, I see the light. Don't second guess it. Don't question it. Just notice what you're seeing. It could be fractal patterns. It could be hues of color or rays of color. It could be tones that you're hearing. And if you are seeing, try to hear, right? Because every hue of color has its own tone. And then I want you to realize you are in your now. You are in the now. You're not in the present. You're not in the future. You're not in the past. This is where infinite possibilities lie, is in this energy. And if you can stay here, this is what I keep noticing. If I can stay here and then curiously observe my body, curiously observe my form, from this space, some would say this dimension, from this space, from this dimension, this now moment, my lungs have no issue. I can't even feel my lungs right now. Notice what you feel. Allow your body to let go. Recognize yourself in this now moment. Keep letting it grow. If you're still feeling something, keep letting it grow. Let the body fall off. And it's not going to die. You're not going to lose it. It's not your time. Let everything just relax. Stay in that now feeling in your I am self. And then whatever it was you just wrote on here, I want you to use that and affirm this reality. This is how it works. Affirm your reality that you're in right now. I am divinely protected. I breathe, I live, I am happy. I am capable. My life unfolds perfectly in love beyond any word descriptions. I am supposed to be. I am growing. I am energy, and energy is everything. I am so loved. I am light and love. I am full of energy all the time. I am. I am enough. Everything is working out for me. even in this state of relaxation, in the state of open-heartedness, I want you to start opening your eyes. You have to be able to walk around in your now moment as your now self. You have to be able to open your eyes and still participate in this plane of existence. And the only way you can do that is to practice it. Right? One of the things that they taught us that I think is totally bass-ackwards is to sit down in your closet in your little meditation station, right? We all made those at one point. Our little meditation altars or what, right? Christian used to say, have your prayer closet, go in your closet and pray. You have to open your eyes and walk around in that prayer. You have to realize that every word out of your mouth is a form of prayer. Every thought in your head is meditation. And if you can open your eyes and walk around in the feeling that you've just now generated in the now moment as your now self, your change will be instantaneous. Who says yes to that?
Yes.
Yeah, yes, loud yeses. Open your microphones.
Yes.
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 The more you recognize this is yourself, walk through the world as your I am self, no longer working from the program of your avatar. Yes, shout it, Melissa. You're probably at work, you probably can't shout. That's why I was laughing. When you realize and you take that, right, let your yeses be yeses and your noes be noes. Say no to your old self. When that shows back up, and it will, because that's what your brain does, it's what the program does, you say no to it. Enough is enough. And then you say yes, you bring back it this now moment. And it's like, it's not time, it's not space. The now moment is your spirit. It is what you are from outside of this plane of existence. It's hard to fathom, right? We call it the now moment, thinking, okay, this moment, this second right here. And then we say, okay, and then I follow it into the next second and the next second. That's not what it is, because there is no second. There's no time, there's no space. It is just that form of you. It's just that part of you. And you have to say yes to it. And you have to feel it. And you have to affirm it over and over and over. And then someday you're going to wake up and it's just going to be who you are. It just is. And you can't walk away from it, because all of a sudden that part of you is actually literally in control of the avatar instead of the program running the avatar. To use Melissa's words, avatar. I just got jolted with energy earlier. I must tell you. Does all this make sense?
Yes.
Up to this
Yes.
point, thank you. Up to this point, does anybody have any questions? Any questions?
So, if I can try to summarize it, the point is that we try to create a new vision of our future, and we feel it. One aspect is to think it through, and the other aspect is to feel it as it's already happened.
Yep, and affirm it, right? Speak it.
Yes, and affirmations.
Yep. Say it out loud. I mean, the reason you have to do it, I mean, every angle, right? We have to do it from every space possible, because that's what you've been doing your whole life with your past. We keep affirming our past. We keep talking about it. We keep telling stories to it. We keep feeling it. It causes illness in the body. It's crazy to me how long it's taken to get to a place where it's like, no, it's just this. And there is no time and there is no space. There isn't any of that. It's just here now. And you linger in it. You fall into it. You don't walk away from it. You learn how to walk around the world in it. Sue says, love it. I wrote it on my leg. Every step I take is wow. Yes, it is. Any other questions? Anybody? Thoughts, questions, ideas? So we stop trying to get rid of, to change, to release, to fix, to make something feel better. Stop trying to do any of that stuff. It is a waste of energy. It is a waste of energy. Stop trying to think better thoughts. That's a weird one. In your now moment, you will have better thoughts. You don't have to even think of them. You will have better thoughts. Even trying to like manifest conditions that will cause you to have a healing or cause you to have a, a different experience or whatever. Quit trying to do any of that. Just stay in the power of your true self, of your now moment. And it all will change. Your identity will change. The way you act will change. The way you react will change. None of it can be the same. Take a deep breath. Actually, take 3 of them. Let's get back into our heart space. And we're probably already still there, but let's go there intentionally. As you're inhaling and exhaling, just letting that energy run up and down your system. From your root to your crown and from your crown to your root. You want the energy running both directions. There's channels for both, not just one way or the other. So up and down the system. And let's stay here for a second, actually, while you're breathing, while you're running energy and oxygen up and down this physical body, up and down your form. I want you to participate as this now moment. I swear this is how you levitate. It's in here somewhere. If you could walk around breathing like this and keep massaging the energy up and down the system, at some point your physical body is probably going to leave the ground. Because you feel it, you're in it, right? You're only here. All of a sudden, time and space has no effect on you. Can you feel it? As you're breathing, move your awareness into your heart space. If you can keep your eyes open, keep your eyes open. If you need to put a hand on your heart to remind your body where your heart is, put your hand there. Keep breathing. And then visualize yourself falling into that space, the secret space of the Most High. And then I want you to see the person that you want to see. See the thing that you've always wanted this to be. Don't remove anything. Don't get rid of any of it. Don't take any of it away. Just see it as you want it to be. Feel it. And I typically can't feel my body when I do this, which I find amusing, which means I don't feel pain, right? If I bring that information back to this body, I don't feel the issues. I don't feel the problems. Imagine yourself, imagine the life that you wanted to have. And then stay here, don't walk away from it. So we're changing the probabilities, we're changing the possibilities, and we're focusing in the space that our power resides in. It just makes so much sense. And your reality becomes a choice. Keep breathing, keep feeling it. Choose the script that you want. It's endless possibilities. And if you get into the script and you decide you don't like it, guess what? You can change it again. I've been so many or had so many scripts in this lifetime. I find it super interesting. I've been a student. I've been a mother. I've been a wife. I've been a pastry chef, very high-end pastry chef, actually, acclaimed. Then I was a, what do you call it? Like in a gym, I was a trainer, a physical trainer of all things in the world. Never saw that one coming. And then I was a healer and a teacher. It's like I've lived so many lifetimes in this lifetime. And I sometimes wonder if the idea of past lives is just that. It's every time you change the script and it extends. It's not a life-death function. It's a changing of the script function. And you jump levels, however you look at it. Do you jump dimensions, jump levels, change into, a different place in the reality? So I asked the question, and I asked this last week after we went through all those other questions. Who are you now? Who are you? If you had to sit down with me and I was going to interview you, and I said, tell me about your life story. What life would you tell me about? What do you want to bring in front of you? Go in the chat box, take a few minutes. Tell me about your life. Tell me who you are. Or if you want to turn on your microphone, there's only a few of us in here. We can go through everybody. Who are you now? And this is like fast. It's like, how do you talk about yourself? I don't know who I am. What do you say? I am a spreader of love. Tell me more. What does a spreader of love do? How does that work? Feel free to open your microphones.
I'm going to make a lot of noise though, because I'm walking down to the cattle. We have Scottish Highlanders, so my husband needs me. But so you might hear some cattle. So I guess smile at the people that need a smile, that are, that don't even give you eye contact. Just make space for people in their trauma, or just be more kind. Yeah, I just feel like I'm shifted into just stop expecting people to love me, just to give it more freely.
Yeah, because your love is sufficient. Spirit's
Yeah.
love is total. Nobody has to give you anything. Spirit gives you, I mean, you are that. It's not even a give and get thing. You are love.
Yes, I'm going to shut the mic because I'm going to make too much noise.
Oh, you're fine. You're fine. Anybody else? What are we thinking? Melissa says, I am my spirit. Tell me more about that. How do you operate as your spirit? Christopher says, the Christopher that is free of binded contracts. I would ask you what that means, but that would take a whole nother conversation. I can hear you laughing. Oh, Melissa says, I no longer feel the ick of thinking of my past. This is how you empty out your head too, right? In meditation, they always tell you, get your brain quiet, get your head quiet. And people be like, oh, the thoughts. And you think about the thoughts, trying to just let them go by. And it just makes you crazy. If you're in now and there's no time and there's space, there's probably no thought either. Everything just goes silent and falls straight to peace. You guys are talking faster than I can keep up with. I am the Mel that is free and unbounded. That's awesome. Jared says, I am the unmovable center of the storm. Ooh, tell me more about that. What does it mean to be the unmovable center of the storm? Was that you or Jennifer?
It was me. And that would mean that I'm on.
I saw you over there.
Just unmoved by anybody or even the ego, you know, the offering compassion and safety.
Yeah. And it's an interesting thing to say, or I mean, to even think about being the unmovable center of the storm. If that is what you are, like none of this can affect you. And it's immense. The center of that storm encompasses the whole cosmos. It's everything. And this is none of it, which is interesting and bizarre. Thank you for that. That was beautiful. Sue says, my life is the great unfolding every single second. It's a glorious unfolding. I used to love that song. There was a song called that, The Glorious Unfolding. Nice. How does that work? Tell me more about the great unfolding every single second.
Well, to me, it just means, you say, well, who are you? What do you do? What does your life look like? I am moving through life, and what I need shows up when it needs to. And, I do all kinds of things. So I really don't have anything to limit myself by. So it just unfolds. It's like walking through a garden and everything is constantly in bloom all the time. All the time.
Yep. Work. That's amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Breathe that one in. Take a deep breath. Everybody take a deep breath. Philip says, I would leave the parts that were set for me. I would speak of my search for truth and eternal, of values I develop through life, honesty, humanity, and honor. It's that choice, right? I choose to be the parts. So instead of saying leave, I would use the word choose. I choose the parts that were set for me. And then speaking of your search for truth, right? You're speaking your journey. You're creating it as you speak it. Go ahead. I hear you back there trying to talk. Was that Philip?
Yes, I agree.
Go ahead. Uh-oh, did we lose him?
Yeah, yes. I was disconnected for a moment, so I lost how it went. But yes, choose is a better options. But I rushed as I typed.
Say that last part again.
I rushed as I typed. I'm not fast
Oh,
typer,
gotcha. Gotcha. No
so
worries.
I didn't choose words very carefully.
No, you're fine. It's still beautiful.
Thank you.
Very nice. Melissa says, I am the Mel that is free from fear and limiting beliefs. And you don't even have to go there, right? Because when you do that, you're calling those things back in. You're still being attached to that old self because your spirit doesn't have fear and your spirit doesn't have beliefs, especially limiting ones. I would leave that sentence as stopping at the word is. I am the Mel that is. And let it just be expansive. Because you literally, the second you start putting those words into it because of your own belief system, you'll start bringing all that back into play. That says, I am yesterday, today, and tomorrow in this moment. Whew. That gives me the chills. Oh my goodness. All of time right there. Tell me more about that. What is that, Lance?
I think it's similar to what the woman said previous, the one who's walking down to the barn. But just, and similar to what you were saying about, our past karma or choices, that we have been these things and we are going to be other things in the future, and all of that. It's kind of like a vortex from both ends, from past and future, that come into the present. So I'm already all of those things at this moment. And I have the choice to choose those things in the future that I want for me.
Nice. Ah, take a deep breath. That's incredible. I mean, it's endless. Look at what all of you have written. It is absolutely infinitely, the possibilities are infinite. There is no end to what you could create if you were in true creator mode and you stayed in this energy. There is no end to it. The last one, this is Jennifer, says, I am the calm when others are in need of it. I would stop at I am the calm. Because if you're doing it for others, you're giving away energy. You don't need to. They have their own energy source. And if you are calm, it will permeate your field, right? So you start creating to that calmness that you're generating in color, in tone, in quality of geometry, and all of those things. And it permeates your field and it starts building in your system, meaning the field, right? The field around you. And anytime you walk past somebody, your calmness affects them. You don't have to be the calm when they're in need. You're just the calm. It's who you, it's what you are. It's what your spirit is. It's that higher level of peace that just permeates everything.
As I was typing it, I was thinking, how much am I shouldering of others? How much am I taking on
Yeah.
when I'm trying to calm a situation or triage? Yeah. So it's funny that you say I should stop at just I am the calm.
I am the calm. Yeah, because that's huge. That's huge. It was one of the apostles, I think Peter, that had so much, like the way he had massaged his energy field and pushed information through it. People could literally walk through his shadow and be healed.
Mhm.
You know? And I think it's when you keep that stance or keep that place it affects everything around you. That's how we change the world, right? That's how we change everything around us, not only our worlds, but everything that's going on has to bow down to these higher levels of consciousness. And these are higher levels of consciousness. Yeah.
Yes, it was Peter. Peter outshined even Jesus in few of the stories. I'm not sure if those are true, to be honest.
You know, who knows? Because they altered the text so badly, but I'm going to hold on to that one.
Well,
Because I
all,
see. Go ahead.
all Christian churches are Peter's churches, not the Jesus churches. So I think they need to make a great legend of the Saint Peter.
Mhm. I agree with you.
Mhm.
That's
I am.
funny.
Isn't that what Peter means? Rock? I am the
Rock.
rock upon which the church
Yes,
is built.
Kifa. But when you call someone stone, it usually means you have a heart of stone, that you are untouched. So if Jesus called him Kifa, I don't think that was very flattering.
Oh my. Yeah, the languages tell the story, don't they? We don't get the truth because we don't speak the language. So interesting. So Melissa says, the last one down here, I think, the last one says, I am divine protection for me and my loved ones. And I would just say, stop it, protection. You are divine protection. If you start shouldering the idea that you have to protect people around you, it'll just draw your energy. It'll zap your energy field. But if you are protection and you stand on that, it'll permeate your field and it will protect. Does that make sense? It's where the wording can get a little bit cumbersome. Keep it simple. Keep your words few, keep them simple. You don't have to put a lot to it. And if you are that, it will permeate everything around you. So my last question to all of you is, who's staying here? Who's going to stay in this space of now? Who's staying in this space of now? Are you going to do it or are you going to walk away from it? Because this is really where the rubber meets the road. You have to make the choice. I am this or I am that, or you're going to flip back and forth and keep just wearing yourself out. I do think time is short, and not because, well, for a lot of reasons, not for religious ones, in the now. Yes, ma'am. In the now. I think time is short for a lot of reasons, and we see the happenings going on around the world, and I don't know, there's just so many bizarre things going on. Being able to stay in this now moment, you're going to help perpetuate the next future collectively, right? There's a collective audience, there's a collective thing going on with this. I will stay. Thank you, Philippe. And if you work it, like literally massage the energy of this, feel it, grasp it, move your hands up and down to it, right? Tai Chi, Qigong, pick one of those kind of things. People that do yoga are always moving their hands through the air. If you were raised in a Christian church like I was, we were taught to stand with our hands at our side. You couldn't move. You'd get slapped if you moved. I had to go to a Pentecostal church to learn how to put my hands in the air. It was the craziest thing. I was like, oh my gosh, like you can do this and not get beat up. But move your hands to it as you're breathing. Go stand outside in the morning sun and literally inhale and exhale and move your hands to the breath. Do the Rosicrucian. I forget what it's called. Do the Rosicrucian. That's not what it's called. It's a movement that's taught by a guy that talks about the Rosicrucian that I follow, Robert Gilbert. And he puts his hands in prayer position, starting at your navel, which I have a hard time getting down there because of my wrists. But start at your navel and come up the center of your body, all the way over your head, all the way over the crown, and then out and around. As you come out and around, your hands are facing down. And then you come back into the center between your legs And when you're there, your hands are facing down, but you rotate up and then you come back up again and breathe. Right? So the downdraft is the exhale, the updraft is the inhale, and you are literally massaging the energy of your field, of your electromagnetic field. All the chakras, all the senses in your palms and your hands, and then do it backwards. Start at the top, come down, flip all the way out and around. So you're bringing the energy of heaven through your body, down through the root, and you're bringing energy up through the root, out through the crown. And he says do that like 10 or 20 times, whatever, with the breath, the big inhales and exhales, really move the energy inside your body, and then split it. Start with a hand overhead and a hand under, and then bring them together. Let them pass by, let that energy, right? You can feel the energy ball in your hands when you do it. And then split them. So you're bringing the energy of heaven and earth through your physical body at the same time. Every morning, every morning, every morning. Do this like 3 times a day. This by itself will change the nature of your energy, and it will help hold you in this now moment. It's after 4, so I apologize. I ran over again. Any questions, any thoughts, any ideas, any concerns? Anybody want to say anything? Open your microphones and feel free. And if not, we shall say goodbye. I bless you. I love you all. Thank you for being here. Philippe, did you want to say something?
Yes, I wanted to thank you, and I wanted to say that you mentioned before as when people, how to say, when they work together, they create larger force. So I'm glad to be part in creating a more beautiful future for humanity.
Yes,
Thank
please.
you.
That's beautiful.
The
Thank you.
news and all that is pure horror. So it's nice to see someone is creating something nice for a change.
That's what we've got to do. I think we're in a place where we have no choice anymore. We've pushed ourselves against a wall. So bizarre. Anybody else?
Thank you, Christy. Much love.
Oh, thank you, Lance. Back at you. All right, we'll see everybody next week. So far, same time, same day. If you have questions, don't hesitate to ask. I'll put this video up probably this afternoon. I'm driving to Denver tomorrow, so I'll be on the road, but I'll try and put it up tonight. If you have any questions that you didn't mention here, either email me or stick them underneath that video. All right, and if you don't mind, I would ask all of you to go to that video and just like it and maybe put a little comment or something under it anyway, just because it helps the videos move. And I think the more people that see this stuff, I don't know, if we're all practicing getting in the now moment and staying our true nature, what could possibly go wrong? That's a funny thing. Anyway, all right, bless you. Have a good night.
Thank you.
Thank you. Goodbye.
Bye-bye.
See you all.
Bye, everybody.